Welcome into SportsZone. I'm your host, Jeremiah Russo. As March Madness goes off in the collegiate world for basketball, we have our own March Madness, except for the NHL hockey. It's the push for the playoffs for Lord Stanley with the Dallas Stars. And joining me now to discuss the Dallas Stars and their push for Lord Stanley's Cup, we have Sean Hunley and Steven Lucero. Guys, how are we doing today?
Oh, I've been all right, just like the Stars have just been all right, you know.
It's been a pretty inconsistent day for me.
I mean, you guys pretty much nailed it right on the dot. Inconsistency all the way. You take a look at the past 4 to 5-ish games of the Dallas Stars. You had a 6-5 overtime win against the Flames. Yippee-ki-yay. Then you go down against Kraken in overtime, 5-4 loss. Then you go 3-2 Penguins win, and then you lose to the Canucks last night. Just kind of like how you guys said it, inconsistency. But, I mean, Steven, there's got to be more than that. What's going on with the Stars?
Yeah, to me it's tough because you were in front of the entire league this whole season, at least in the Western Conference. You're up number 1 in the Central, number 1 in the West, but now that it's the crunch time, now that it matters, you're starting to slip. Something's got to give and something's got to change, or else this Stars team is going to be in trouble.
What's got to give is they're not scoring goals. They are not getting those second chance rebounds off the goalie, and they're allowing too many backdoor goals on Jake Ottinger. I mean, they're hanging him out to dry, especially with Wedgwood out right now. He's got to step up and, make those big saves, but you can't do that if your players are hanging you out to dry and basically you got a 2-on-1 coming at you every single shot you got to face.
I mean, you pretty much nailed it. I mean, Jake Ottinger has been the hero for this team, and I know a lot of people give him a little crap on, maybe a little soft goal here, but I mean, you honestly take a look at him right here. Look at this. It is literally Otter versus the world. He's tied in 4th in shutouts, which is when you have Linus Ullmark and Jeremy Swayman on the Bruins taking up most. Exactly. Oh, yeah. He's out here 7th most in face shots. Not even the Bruins goaltenders have faced that. Goals against average could be a little better. He's still 24. But tied 5th in games won with 31. He's doing everything he can. It really is him out there. Because, when you take a look at the team, they're averaging about 29 years old in age, which is, actually the 3rd highest in the NHL. Hockey, for the recent history, has developed young. And if you even take a look, the young stars shining bright. Guys, I'll let you guys dive in on this. There is some brightness to this darkness. What do you see out here, Sean?
His name's Jason Robertson. So Mike Modano scored, I believe it was 93 points in a regular season. He is on par to tie that and break it. They play the Hawks tonight. He could tie it tonight. I'm hoping not. That's my team. But, Steven, what do you think?
But, yeah, he touched on that. Jason Robertson has been incredible. The first player in Stars franchise history, that includes Modano, to have back-to-back 40-goal seasons. He's been absolutely incredible. That top line's been awesome, but you got to have more than that. You need more.
And as you can see right here, there's Miro. There's Miro taking a nap. And this game, he actually looked like, not off on his A game, but, you got Matt Murray, young goaltender. They're going to get there. And I know we kind of talked about this earlier. Back to Wyatt Johnson, I think that's kind of one of the key stories. A rookie leading the NHL in goals with 21 for all rookies. That's important. He actually is number 4th on the Dallas Stars, which is, you take a look, you got guys like Joe Pavelski, just signed a contract, Max Domi from Chicago, who they really addressed for the goal scoring. You have Tyler Seguin, you got Rupe Hintz. Then you have this 19, 20-year-old kid, Wyatt Johnston, that's just, he's tearing it up in the league. So, although with all the inconsistency, I think they kind of, solidify themselves. Now, back to kind of solidifying, you take a look at the Western Conference as a whole, the Central Division. What are we seeing from the Stars? We had that kind of bit of a slip. We kind of fell through a little bit. We're sitting 3rd place. If you can take a look right here, guys, what's going on here? Do we have a chance to pull it back out? What do you think?
Absolutely. We're separated by 3 points. We hold the game over the Wild. All we got to do is win tonight, and we play Arizona the next time, which means we can easily overtake Colorado, and we hold that game over Minnesota. So if we tie, we take that top spot, we get a wild card team.
Yeah, I'm with Sean. There's not a lot of time left, but there's enough time. You're not separated by a whole lot. The Stars, like we said, they just need to be consistent. You have 14 overtime losses this season. That's 3rd most in the entire NHL. If you can just lock it down, finish games the right way, get some dubs, and overtake those two teams.
To their credit, the overtime losses I will 100% take over regular losses.
Absolutely.
A regular loss, you get 0. At least 14. You pulled out 14 points. Just like y'all mentioned, we got the Hawks coming up. That's dead last. They're terrible. Sorry, my hometown. Arizona, you're facing the bottom 2 in the Central, which is going to be very key. Then you got the Colorado Avalanche, the 3rd game in. Depending on how, who's playing, if Cale Makar is out or in and out, Nathan McKinnon, all those big names, honestly, we could go up 6 points and we might clinch.
Absolutely.
Now, really quickly, talking about clinching the playoffs, obviously you take a look at the East side. almost every spot beside the wild card has been filled. But taking a look at this is just a Central. We still got the Pacific. No one's clinched.
Nope.
Is it fair game? What do you think, Steven?
Oh, yeah, it's wide open. It's just going to be the team that steps up when it matters. It's wide open. Anyone can win this. The Stars just got to step up, win this division. Because I do not want to play Colorado Avalanche.
I don't either, but I think Vegas is probably the closest to clinching a playoff spot. But if I'm the Stars, I want to get as many points as possible with 9 games left in the season. Hopefully, get a wild card team. But if not, we might be in trouble facing that Avalanche team.
Well, you know what? It's going to be the push for the playoffs for the Dallas Stars. First, they got to take the stop to Chicago, my hometown, as they face on the Chicago Blackhawks tonight at 6 o'clock Central Time. But don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we have March Madness NBA style, the push for the trophy. Coming up next, the Dallas Stars, or Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
And now we return to Fabric of Passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
SportsZone. As it's now the time for the Dallas Mavericks to make their push for the playoffs. They had to take stock first at the Indiana Pacers, defeating them 127-104. However, even with that win, we are still sitting outside the bracket with only 11th in the Western Conference. Joining me now to discuss what in the heck is going on with these Dallas Mavericks, who were so coveted at one point and now to nothing, we have Caleb Blanton and Adam C. Guys, how are we doing today?
Pretty good.
I'm doing good. I'm a little sad about the Mavericks, but other than that, we're doing fine.
I mean, I too am sad about the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, you take a look, it was a good win against the Pacers, going up 127-104. You had guys like Luka ball out 25 points. Kyrie kind of, I wouldn't say slacking a little bit, but a little less production for him with 16 points. But what did you guys think of the game overall? Caleb, I'll start with you.
Yeah, not a bad game. No really complaints about the team. The defense, played pretty well regarding, their past struggles. And they had a lead pretty much the whole game, so that was pretty good. And I really like that. The Luka pass where he's like almost out of bounds, but he somehow got it to the edge. That was really impressive.
I'm feeling about the same. Game-wise, it wasn't bad. Jaden Hardy is still him, whether or not Jason Kidd thinks so. I just think it's kind of sad how we had to play the Pacers to look competent.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, this obviously is a team that we should have defeated. Now, taking a look, let's see how everybody did out here. This is just a starting five, and I think, pretty solid. Luka obviously doing Luka magic, as we said, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, or 6 assists and 7 rebounds. Why is Reggie still on my team? Can somebody explain this to me? Come on, you had what, 25 minutes and you're putting up 11 points and no assists? And for the love of God, get Dwight Powell out of here. I don't know about you guys. Yes, I know he played limited minutes, but Dwight Powell, come on. Like, is it just me?
He's only good as a backup, if you ask me. Like, he's only a backup, but they try to start him, and it never works. It never has. It never will.
So then, to your point, you touched on it a little bit. Yes, we won, but is Jason Kidd to blame? Because you take a look at his last year. We were at 53-30 season, went to the Western Conference Finals. You know, we lost to the later on champs, the Golden State Warriors. You look at us, and it's an absolute crapshoot. I mean, what, 37-39? What are we, the Texas Rangers? What's going on?
Honestly, it's shameful, but I actually do blame Kidd. Even from the beginning of the year, he's shown coaching malpractice and the fact that Jaden Hardy was tearing it up in the G League, and then he would just come to the Mavericks, do nothing, then they'd send him back down. And then recently, he's been cooking up some of the worst rotations I've ever seen. The kitchen is closed, burned down. So, quite honestly, yes, I blame Jason Kidd. We should change the coach. I don't know to who, but we should change it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when they first, signed Jason Kidd, I wasn't like, oh my goodness, he's a good coach. You really need like an eye-popping coach, and I feel like that's what they should go for.
I mean, you just take it a look. This is against the Charlotte game. I mean, look, we're just letting guys just drive through the paint like nothing. I mean, sorry, Dwight Powell, he can't do nothing. Maxi Kleber, I know he was injured earlier and he wasn't in last night's contest, but you're gonna need somebody. And I agree to the point that you said of Jaden Hardy. Why are we calling him up from the G League to then bench him and maybe playing like 3 minutes and then nothing? It makes no sense to me.
It's just inconsistency. Like it's almost like how Rick Carlisle treated Jalen Brunson to me. Like, he'll put Jaden out on the court and then he makes one mistake and he pulls him immediately. And that's not how players grow. And that's why Jalen Brunson became good, was because Jason Kidd left him out there, but now he's giving Jaden Hardy the same Carlisle treatment, and I don't get it.
I don't know, man. I wish I had an idea. Now, I do want to bring this point up. So, does Mark Cuban need to find someone else? Caleb, do we think we need to fire him? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, come on. It's not working, obviously. The defense's game plan, like, it's just non-existent. And, you have to play defense to compete, and they're not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, from the rant I had earlier, yeah, I think Kidd should be fired. I don't think he's that great currently. I think he's holding this team back a lot. I mean, I don't know who we would do instead, but honestly, anyone not named Jason Kidd is good enough for me.
I mean, I love it. I'm honestly, what do you guys think about Udoka? I think, with all we brought Kyrie Irving here with all the baggage. If you want to go that route, it's almost worked out. I think you get like one more piece that you need. Maybe actually start Christian Wood and Jaden Hardy. Maybe that's a good start right there. I think you bring him in. We saw what he did with the Spurs as assistant. We saw what he did, back in Boston, through all that. He still did his job, and he did it very well. I think that may be a plausible opportunity.
I think it's fair. I also think Udoka wouldn't play Reggie Bullock for 30 minutes, so that's an upgrade.
I wouldn't play Reggie Bullock for 30 minutes either. But, I mean, really quickly, guys, I do want to touch on this. We're in that final stretch. What is something that the Mavs need to do to actually, have a chance at this? We're sitting at 11th. We're tied with the Lakers and the Thunder. I mean, Caleb, what do we got to do?
Yeah, obviously, we've said it all day, defense, but also I want to see some consistency, with Luka and Kyrie. Because, when it started, Luka and Kyrie, they were popping off, both of them, each. But now it's like Luka will ball out and Kyrie won't, or Kyrie will and then Luka won't. So they have to find that consistency as well.
Overall, I actually think that our chances are slim to none. Slim got up and went home, and we're currently facing really good contenders in the East, and I just don't think we're going to make the playoffs.
Well, I mean, as Dallas looks like they want to tank for Wemby out here, I mean, we also have other teams that are tanking, whether that be the Chicago Bears or the Carolina Panthers, as we take a look at the state of the NFL coming up next.
Live from UNT, it's Wheel of Culture.
Welcome back to Wheel of Culture. Our contestant is so close to solving this puzzle. But first, it's time to give the wheel a spin. Wow, you landed on London, one of the many places where you and your fellow students can go on a chance to experience new culture. But only if you can solve this puzzle.
I'd like to solve the puzzle. Study abroad.
That's correct. You just won yourself a trip to study abroad in London, England, and you can too. Just go to studyabroad.unt.edu to see deadlines and apply for scholarships. get ready to study abroad.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh? Welcome back in the Sports Zone. I'm your host, Jeremiah Russo. It's time to bring out a little bit of a classic game we like to call Bowl It Takes with the state of the NFL as the NFL draft is coming up among us this month. Joining me now to discuss and to try to win the little Bowl It Takes. We got Parker over here. We got Trey. How are we doing, guys?
I'm doing a little better than those Ravens fans right now because they're in shambles. So
yeah, I mean, after that, let's see what we got in here. I think we might have a little bit of Lamar Jackson, scenario here.
We shall
see. Let's see what we got here. All right. So actually, Dallas Cowboys on this one. Are you ready?
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
So, cutting Zeke was the big mistake, just like when we traded Amari Cooper. What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely not. Ezekiel Elliott has been fairly washed up for about 2, 3, 4 years now, ever really since that domestic violence case. Ezekiel Elliott has been in trouble, so Tony Pollard's been outproducing him for a while now, so I definitely think that was the correct move. Save a lot of cap space.
Yeah, it's tough, but also they kind of have the two tandem with him and Pollard, so I think it's good, but I mean we'll see this year coming up. With Pollard, he's good, but can he carry the whole team?
I was about to say his leg can't carry himself right now. His leg cannot do that. You take a look. I mean, you only have him, who's not coming back until a little bit later in the year. I mean,
but when I was kind of watching, it kind of felt like Tony Pollard was doing all the work, and then Zeke would just vulture the touchdown.
I mean, that's what you do when you're 29, isn't it? All right.
Every touchdown on the 1 yard line came from Zeke.
All right, let's see what we got here. Next one. Here we go. Lamar Jackson is going to stay with the Ravens, even with the trade request. Trey, let's start with you.
Oh, it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of tension, obviously, now between Lamar, and he said, he requested this trade, a while back and stuff, and there's so much going on now, but I think he goes somewhere else.
You think?
I think either the Patriots or the Colts. They're two of the teams that are looking into that, so I think I could see him on those two teams.
I'm going to disagree with you right here. I think he does stay with the Ravens. So what the Ravens did is they gave him the non-exclusive franchise tag, so he can negotiate with any other team with his agent. And you know what's happening right now? He's not getting looks from anybody. Nobody's showing him interest right now because he wants this crazy guaranteed deal that the Browns gave Deshaun Watson, and nobody's going to give it to him. So I think he'll end up signing maybe like a 1 year deal with the Ravens, that franchise tag. He might play it through. He's still going to get paid a big bag this year, but I think he will end up back with the Ravens.
I'm going to have to agree. I did come up with that question. I think he definitely is going to stay. I mean, just because you put a request in and you might sit out. Don't forget, they had an all-Pro Bowler right there, Yep. I forgot Huntley or whatever. Yeah,
Tyler Huntley.
I don't know how the heck you made it, but congratulations. Good for you. All right, let's see. This one's going to be a little bit of the NFL draft. Who will the Panthers draft at number 1? So the options are Stroud, Young, Richardson, or Levis.
Definitely going to be Stroud. If you look at all of the common prototype quarterbacks that Frank Reich has coached in the past, they're all really tall guys. And in the media the other day, he talked about how he also loves Bryce Young's film, but at this point in time, I think after the great game Stroud had in the semifinals for the CFP, I think that C.J. Stroud's definitely the guy that they're going to end up going with.
No, I'm with you there. C.J. Stroud, being from Ohio State, I think that he has what it takes to be on the Panthers. That's kind of the guy they're looking for, and I could see him really succeeding for them.
I mean, you take a look, they have options, bro. They got a lot of options. I mean, even if they wanted to pressure any team like the Texans, why don't you come out and have somebody say, yeah, we'll draft Bryce Young, and then all of a sudden they're going to trade your pick, and then, you get a little bit of haul. But I'm going to agree. I think C.J. Stroud might be the move here. I know there's been a lot of talk about Anthony Richardson in the past, but I don't buy the hype. Don't believe in the hype. That's what Polo G said. Don't believe the hype. Y'all go watch Polo G. I love him. All right, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. So,
man.
With the trade of Aaron Rodgers, pending it goes through, the Jets are going to be playoff bound.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair take, honestly. The fact that they extended that a couple years ago, they extended it to 3 wildcard teams, so 7 teams can get in now. Like, I think that's, like, Aaron Rodgers is still a really good player. They're going to surround him with a lot of talent. They already went and got a guy like Lazard that he likes. So I think that if Rodgers does end up going to the Jets, and it's still, like, weird because the guy's just kind of a freakazoid at this point.
I mean, they just grabbed more. He wanted a new team. They said, okay, let's grab your old wide receiver.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go.
And he basically said, here's a list, let me get these guys and I'll sign. But he still hasn't signed yet.
Bro, he thought he was Santa. He checked that list twice and still didn't even get a deal done. All right, let's see what we got here. We'll try to get 1 or 2 more real quick. Will the Raiders draft a QB after signing Jimmy G?
I'm going to say no. They have a lot of holes on that team right now, and I think that at this point in time, they're going to ride with Jimmy G. He's a solid guy, and I think they'll try to build more around him than a different quarterback.
Yeah, I definitely second that. Jimmy G is a good quarterback. I always thought he was on the 49ers, so I think he can lead the Raiders, and there's no point in getting a backup.
They may draft a guy later in the draft, though. Maybe like a project guy, like not a first-round guy, though.
So then, lucky enough, really quickly, will Mike McCarthy either draft Max Duggan or Hendon Hooker? What do you think?
No, maybe, I don't know.
Max Duggan, I think he's a stud.
I think we're bringing Hendon Hooker to Texas, but you'll never know. Coming up next, we got WWE WrestleMania. Just like any sports, you got the Hollywood, you got the Magic movies. Now it's time for Magic Wrestling coming up next.
Man, I have all these non-perishable food items, and I don't know what to do with them.
I don't have any food at all.
Do you have too many non-perishable goods?
Yeah.
Have you run out of food and can't get any more?
Yeah.
Well, don't have a cow. Head on down to the UNT Food Pantry. Located behind Crumley Hall and Diamond Eagle Student Resource Center, the Food Pantry is the place for UNT students to get all the food they need. You'll be utterly surprised by all the options they have there. From gluten-free to lactose intolerant, even vegan and vegetarian, they have it all. Go to studentaffairs.unt.edu/food pantry for more information.
Move on down to the UNC Food Pantry.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up all night? Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep.
Yeah, go to bed.
Back in the Sports Zone. This Saturday and Sunday for 2 nights, you have now WWE Goes Hollywood with WrestleMania 39 in SoFi in Los Angeles, California. Joining me now to discuss the WWE and their big Super Bowl of a game or matches, we've got Mason Shepard. What's up, Jose Moreno? Guys, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm
I know,
excited to talk wrestling always.
Yeah, I know this is our stuff, ain't it?
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. Okay. LA Knight is a no for those of y'all who understand that joke. That's a no. So, obviously, let's highlight some of the big matches. We obviously have the undisputed Universal Champion of the world. We have Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. What are y'all predictions on that one? What do we have?
This is probably one of the biggest WrestleMania matches that I've kind of been seeing be advertised a lot. And I haven't felt a big fight feel as the main event, God knows, 5 years by now. I'm really hoping Cody takes it in, but I know that that May 27th Saudi pay-per-view, it's 1,000 days as Roman Reigns is champion. I think they're going to want to hit that 1,000 days and crown him at the King of the Ring. So I think Roman takes it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of talk about that, and I honestly don't know. I'm on the fence. I would love for Cody to finish the story as he's been putting it in his promos, but that 1,000-day reign is huge, especially with the Saudi show that comes up. They like big WrestleMania-feeling matches, and Roman Reigns still being champion, even though it won't be popular with some, the internet fans. They might still want to keep that. Triple H, isn't he still on the fence? So I think we're gonna really be in for a surprise one way or the other.
At the same time, I don't think Saudi Arabia is kind of excited to watch Roman Reigns. They want Undertaker. They want Goldberg, who's a contract expired. But at the same time, I do agree with Jose. I mean, you're at that 1,000 mark that hasn't been done since San Martino. I mean, that obviously, if they want to mark him as the GOAT, the greatest of all time, that's one of the things we look at is how many days you've been champion consecutively, almost 2,000, right?
Like Cena is a 16-time. Austin was the biggest draw in the biggest era of wrestling. The Rock is the biggest movie star in professional wrestling history. Hogan, it was the face of wrestling. So Roman needs something other than, oh yeah, we all hated him for 10 years. He needs something to set him apart from the rest of the GOATs. And I think a 1,000-day reign in a modern era, which has only been done by one guy, Nick Aldis, and who honestly cares about Nick Aldis?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, mentioning John Cena, he actually comes back, keeps his streak going.
Yeah.
What is it? How many years? About 20 years now, consecutively 21.
Yep.
Facing Austin Theory in the the United States Championship match.
Yep.
But he makes it feel like the Universal Championship, does he not?
Big Match John. It's Big Match John. John Cena, one of my all-time favorites. Nobody can really get the crowd behind him like John can, especially with that promo he cut on Theory the night he came back to Raw. Honestly, that's going to be my favorite match, and I'm calling it now just because Theory, I don't care what anybody says, I love me some Austin Theory. And I love Big Match John. So I think they're going to put on a clinic, and I think that match is really going to be something that people are going to be talking about for a while.
I think it's very surreal to be seeing, John Cena kind of be in the same role Dwayne was when, he had his rivalry with Dwayne, but with Theory right now. Because everything that he said in that rivalry 10 years ago still remains true about Dwayne. It still also applies to Cena. And seeing Theory and Cena is just such a surreal thing. I've been keeping up with Austin Theory since his days in Evolve.
Yep.
So if you told me in freaking 2017 that Austin Theory and John Cena were going to open WrestleMania Night 1 in Los Angeles, I wouldn't have believed you. I take Theory winning this, my boy, my guy. He may have just gotten leaked on Twitter the other day, but he's still the face of the company in the future. That guy is going to be the winning guy.
I mean, I do have to agree with you. I think this is now the era where we're going to see, John Cena's already put the tribal chief over, not once but twice, but now especially with this new era. I think Theory, if he gets this push, the heel heat that he already the heel magnet that he is, it's just going to grab more.
He's so good, man. He's so good. Even back when he was holding that Money in the Bank, people made fun of him when he was able to counter the what promo from the fans, and he was able to go with it. I was like, this guy knows what he's doing.
You know what I would love? Double turn. You have Cena leave heel, Theory leave face. Why?
I mean, I do love me the Dr. Thugonomics. I'm not going to lie.
Cena cheats to lose or something, gets disqualified. I mean, that's a great way to keep both guys,
But we'll see with movie schedules. Now, we'll wrap this one up really quickly. We got, I think, one of the bigger women matches. You got Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. I'm going to have Rhea Ripley. I think she's really grown as a person, her character. Yep. Even though she's supposed to be this big, bad heel, everybody loves her. How could you not love her? Especially the most dangerous person in the Judgment Day? Really quickly, who do you guys have for that title?
Rhea Ripley. She needs it.
What do you mean the most dangerous person in Judgment Day? Are you mad? Ex-con Dom is right there in front of you. He went to prison.
Ex-con Dom is literally Mike from The Office.
No. That guy sweat blood and tears in there. And I'm going to take Charlotte Flair to win it all. And you know what? Watch it on Peacock while you're at it.
There you go. We got the Peacock there. We have our sponsorship. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Sports Zone. If you guys like what you see, come in this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. for another episode. And if you're following us on any social media, follow us at ntTV_sports. And don't go anywhere because coming up next is ntTV's Nightly News.